You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken Tech for your ears.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We go through a whole lot of material, articles, research, you name it, to pull out the really important stuff, the surprising bits, basically to get you informed fast. Today, we're looking at some seriously cutting-edge developments in data and AI. The goal, give you that critical understanding, cut through the noise.
And that's so important right now. I mean, the amount of new information, it's just constant. It can feel like a flood, honestly. Figuring out what actually matters is the real challenge.
Exactly. We're here to help connect those dots, ready to get smart fast. Okay, let's kick things off right at the foundation, how we store and access data. There's this new player called Vortex making waves.
Oh, yes, Vortex from SpiralDB.
Right. Now, part of LF AI and data.
Mm-hmm.
And the big idea here is it's an open, extensible columnar format. But the really innovative part, it keeps the data compressed, like all the time, in memory, on disk, over the network. They call it an IPC format.
Inter-process communication. Yeah, that's the key. No costly decompressing and recompressing just to move data around. That saves huge amounts of time in CPU.
And the performance claims are, well, pretty staggering. We're talking benchmarks showing things like 100 times faster random reads.
100 times?
Yeah.
And what, 10, 20x faster scans?
Yeah.
5x faster writes?
Compared to Parquet, which is
basically the standard right now.
Yeah.
And they're saying similar compression ratios, too.
It's not just lab numbers either, right? Didn't Microsoft see something?
Yeah, exactly. Microsoft reported up to a 30% runtime improvement for Spark workloads using Vortex inside Iceberg. So real-world validation.
That's huge. What's really fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just, shaving off a few percentage points. It feels more like a fundamental change in how we can get at data, especially for the really demanding stuff like high-performance AI and analytics.
So what does that unlock, practically speaking? Well, think about things that need instant responses on massive data sets, like real-time fraud detection that's truly real-time, or hyper-personalized recommendations that change the second a user clicks. Stuff that was maybe just too slow before. This could make it feasible. It really does sort of redefine the speed limits.
Okay, so blazing fast data access, check. But what about making AI use that data effectively, especially complex enterprise data? This is where it gets really interesting for me. We often talk about AI agents, but making them truly useful, operationally useful in a business, that's another story, bypassing some old hurdles.
Yeah, the classic ARGI approach, retrieval augmented generation, is great for getting information, but maybe less so for doing things, for actual operation.
Exactly. So there's this framework emerging, Enrich MCP. It's designed specifically for building data API so agents can directly access and act on structured enterprise data.
So moving beyond just fetching documents or text snippets.
Right. It's about letting the agent interact with the real business systems. The key architectural idea seems to be starting with a proper semantic data model. Defining entities, attributes, relationships first, not just slapping descriptions on raw APIs.
Ah, that makes sense. So the LLM gets a much clearer picture of what it can do and how the data fits together. And authorization probably gets simpler too.
That's the idea. Better tool descriptions, easier authorization. Makes you wonder, right? Could this mean, no more wrestling with clunky internal dashboards, just talk to the system?
Well, maybe someday. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, often the hardest part isn't the tech itself. It's integrating the people and the processes.
Good point.
You absolutely need that strong alignment, between the engineering teams building this and the data teams who own the semantics. Otherwise, even the coolest agent tech might just sit on the shelf.
True. Organizational alignment is key. Okay, so switching gears slightly, but still on AI. How does all this affect actually building the AI models themselves, especially large language models? We saw something pretty wild from Google Ads, a new way to curate data for fine-tuning LLMs, active learning.
Oh yeah, that was eye-catching. The claim was, what? A massive reduction in training data needed.
Massive is right. Up to 10,000 times less data needed. 10,000x.
Wow. Okay, how does that even work?
Well, the technique, as I understand it, iteratively clusters the data and then picks out the examples that are the hardest or most informative.
Okay.
And those specific examples get sent to human experts for careful annotation. So you get really high quality labels, but on a tiny fraction of the data you'd normally need.
So instead of labeling everything, you strategically label only the most impactful data points. That's smart.
Very smart. Cuts down hugely on time, cost, effort.
It really does. And this raises a pretty important question, doesn't it? I mean, if you can reduce data needs by that much, How does that completely change the economics and the speed of developing specialized LLMs? Fine-tuning models for specific tasks suddenly becomes much, much more accessible.
Right, it potentially democratizes things. You don't need these absolutely enormous, expensive, human-labeled data sets anymore to build a really sophisticated, specialized AI.
Makes advanced AI potentially much more agile, much quicker
Yeah.
to adapt to new niches or industries.
What a trip today. We went from Vortex potentially smashing data access bottlenecks to Enrich MCP offering a more pragmatic way to get AI agents working with real business data.
Right.
And finishing with this Google technique, possibly slashing LLM training data needs by orders of magnitude.
Quite the range. But there's a thread there, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. It all points towards smarter, more strategic ways of tackling these really complex tech challenges, not just throwing more resources at them, but being more clever about it.
Exactly. And maybe the thought to leave with is, how could these kinds of breakthroughs, this kind of thinking, push the boundaries for you? For your own data, your own AI projects, it might just open up possibilities you hadn't even considered before. New avenues for innovation.
Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this look at what's emerging. Keep that curiosity going.
Spoken Tech for your ears.